And now, this is the Opie and Anthony Show on the Virus, Sirius XM.
What's this?
Wolf Mother, come on, Jim.
Good.
You would like Wolf Mother.
I do
Opie
like
and
them.
Anthony. Want to welcome Chris Hardwick to the Opie and Anthony Show.
Yes. Where is he? Yes, I'll get him.
Chris Hardwick to the Opie and Anthony Show. E-Rock taking a sweet time walking him down the hall.
Yeah, it's all right. I felt compelled to take a dozen videos and throw them at Steve when
I saw
when
that,
Steve
all the
walked in
porn.
door, all the porn, and then they were all over the floor. And Jimmy picked them up, but he pulled his pants down, so his whole ass was hanging out right up to the asshole.
Did you see the hole opening and
Everything.
closing? I could feel
and
it.
As he's bending over to pick him up, his asshole is opening and closing. He's just such a tool.
He's a
What did Jimmy-
degenerate.
A degenerate.
Hey, Chris, how are you, buddy?
Good. How are you guys?
Welcome to the Opie and Anthony Show. You're playing Caroline's starting tonight, right?
I am, yeah, as a matter of fact. P.S. Great job on Louis' show.
Thank you, man.
Jim Norton.
Thank you,
That is
buddy.
a fucking great show, and you're granted. Sorry.
That's exactly what I said would happen. That
But
he
everyone-
would know you.
Yeah, we know each other.
Well,
I
I met Jim
He
like
wasn't
10
sure
years
he
ago.
knew you, Chris.
I knew. No, I said I don't know where I know him from. And that's like I know we probably did a festival or something together.
He was confused. I go, Chris is going to walk in here and go and say, "Hey, Jim, good to see you again." Something like that.
Yeah.
It's exactly how it played out.
No, when
How I
I
said it was.
I lived in New York probably like 9 years ago. I was doing a great piece of television called Shipmates, and I was hanging out at the I know, right? And I was hanging out at the Comedy Cellar a lot, and Jim that's
the
where
man.
I first met you.
Yeah, Jim.
Jim
Jim Rock.
I'm still there, and he's got fucking 1.3 million Twitter followers.
Yeah. Why don't we start there? How the fuck do you get 1.3 million Twitter followers? Because
What are you offering the Twitter community?
that's what we all want. We all want to hit 1 million.
I don't know. I work in a lot of nerdy fields. And so, like if you look at the early days of Twitter, who got the most followers, it was all nerds, like the guys who started Dig, like people who host tech shows. And so I think just kind of being in that nerdosphere sort of helped that.
Right.
Yeah.
And on Twitter, you're Opie Radio, so they...
Right.
What?
So that's
What?
yeah.
What happened?
I was
What?
surprised it wasn't
Cheap shot.
taken. I was surprised that wasn't taken.
No, it's the Nerdist, I think. Oh,
Nerdist.
just Nerdist.
Yeah, just
no,
Nerdist.
No, the.
No.
Nerdist.
1.3 million followers. Holy
Self-proclaimed
shit.
nerd, I guess, right?
I guess so, yes.
Geek
or
or nerd,
proclaimed
that's
by
different.
people who stuffed me in trash cans in grade school with my chess sets.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
say.
Do you play chess?
I do. Well, I don't, truthfully, I can't play anymore because I played competitively in
Injury?
grade school.
Oh, you're one of those guys?
And so it's hard for me to do it now without, like, having an aneurysm because I get so intense about it.
Do you beat people really quickly then? Is that why? Is it what you're really saying is everyone else sucks because you've been playing for so long and you can't find a good challenge?
I'm not sure if that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm become one of those obsessive nerds where I'm just like, you touch that piece, you have to move it. Like I'm not fun. I'm not fun to play with. I'm not fun.
Prodigy?
Not fun. I don't know about that, but I was pretty good.
You were pretty damn good.
Who's your favorite chess player of all time? Let's talk chess players.
Oh, shit.
Bobby Fischer.
Yes, me too. Just because of his political views.
Yes,
Because he was a
He was a
lunatic.
kook. Like he was that classic chess. Because most of these guys play the big computers, and they're Russian, and but Bobby Fischer just had so much personality as just like a
certainly
crackpot. So he was a lot of fun.
Yeah, he was a fucking
Can we
balloon.
start with your T-shirt? Who is that?
Steve Wozniak,
It is.
I am.
Okay, I thought I
See,
knew
that's
him.
nerd.
That's a nerd thing.
co-founder
Geek,
of Apple.
Yeah.
Co-founder of Apple.
Wow.
Actually, geek, not nerd. There is a difference between a geek and a nerd.
Yeah,
more
I think,
geek?
a lot of people will debate this for hours. And
Yes, that's what I hope to do right
and,
now.
And some people, to the delight of your
Yes,
audience.
yeah.
The fuck? They're talking about nerds?
I know. Please.
Nerds, geeks, there's a lot of crossover, but dweebs, that's where I fucking draw the line.
dweeb, you're not a dweeb.
Not a dweeb fan. Dweebs come from old sperm as far as I'm concerned.
Dweebs can't help anyone out.
No.
Nerds and geeks can help other people.
They can. Nerds and geeks have the ability to be unnaturally focused about anything.
Yeah.
And dweebs are just socially awkward.
I see geeks as being some people that are a little more tech savvy, but can have a little more fun than a nerd. Nerds are people you cannot get along with.
Nerds are intense because nerds can nerd out of everything. Sports nerds, like any nerds can nerd out of everything. But I think what we're finding is, like from when I was in grade school, a lot of the classic nerds I think if we looked back, we would realize that a lot of them had Asperger's. I'm not even making a joke. Like a lot of the ones are like, look at those nerds. Like today, they'd be like, he has Asperger's.
They're just like quoting statistics, or something, and have no social skills.
It just wasn't a disorder that was
defined,
socially understood back in those days.
He's just a weirdo.
Yeah,
we said he was a weirdo. Asperger's.
He's an odd boy. He's an odd boy.
Yeah, strange. And how'd you wind up getting into some kind of geek shows if you're a geek guy? It doesn't usually work that way. You usually have to do shit you don't like.
Oh, well, I did that for a long time. I've just been working for a long time. So it literally took me like 13 years of working in the business before I was like, why am I not working on nerd stuff? Because before the internet and before the explosion of, niche cable channels,
that's true.
You couldn't really, there was not really nerd programming even as recently as 10 years ago.
You could talk about soldering together a Radio Shack computer.
To just yourself.
In the old days.
And no one else would listen to you. To just yourself and a handful of other sweaty nerds.
I really do. I consider myself quite a geek /nerd, and I do like going through old Popular Mechanics and catalogs and looking at Radio Shack stuff, the old big CB radio base stations they would sell. And,
I still have old Omni magazines from when that was that magazine was around.
It's PC Gamer, old things like that, because it's interesting to see the progression of what happened, and especially when you're playing a game, even like the original Doom when it came out. It's like, it will never get better than this. and then you moved on to like when Half-Life first came out. I was like, holy shit, they finally reached the pinnacle.
Well, now I just tested Alienware makes a 3D gaming computer that's insane.
Really? Wow,
insane. It's actually good 3D technology.
Really?
Yeah.
God damn for gaming.
But I got my first computer in 1981, and it just didn't do anything.
Commodore or a
no, it was a
Atari?
TRS-80.
You went Tandy.
I did went Tandy.
Nice.
Remember when Radio Shack was awesome and it's so funny that there was a period where Radio Shack was on the forefront of technology, and now like the rest of technology just kind of rolled over it.
Blew right past it. You knew when they started having to put radio control cars into Radio Shack.
Yeah.
That it was over for Radio Shack.
Well, right now I need a radio that runs on a wet potato or whatever. Like that's all Radio Shack is now, and connectors.
Wait, are radio cars like the fucking Cousin Oliver of technology?
Yeah.
Like it's just the admission that it's over?
Yeah, it was pretty much done with. It was because you used to walk in Radio Shack, and they had like computers. They had CB radios, scanners.
Oh, you could build your own radios and stuff, and robots.
Kits. Or you could just walk in with a schematics book and pick out resistors and capacitors and transistors.
I still have a lot of early computers were built that way.
Yeah, and just get a printed circuit board, etch it yourself. I used to do shit like this. I made a stun gun and hit my girlfriend with it just to see if it worked.
Whoa,
because I had such lack in my own.
How did you have a girlfriend in that scenario?
Exactly. You're absolutely right.
She would have been a keeper.
She was probably passed out drunk while I was soldering.
There you go.
Just tap her
Is
with
soldering
it
a euphemism for something, or you mean literally soldering?
Yeah, I was giving her the old solder.
Gotcha.
Yeah, dipping a little flux on her
When
first.
I went to sleep last night, my asshole was not welded shut. Are you responsible for this?
Yes.
What did the TRS-80 do? I have to know that. Like,
oh my God.
Nothing.
It was basically just like a
typewriter.
Yeah, and not even really that, because you couldn't really hook it up to a computer.
No, or
I mean to a printer. It was just like one solid unit, and there was the interface was very archaic by computer standards.
All of them ran like BASIC.
Yeah, it ran BASIC, so it was good if you were writing your own stuff, but it was really kind of where there was a lot of consumer-friendly software available.
Yeah. Before all that, though, because I remember getting the Atari 800, and they had nothing for it, and I had a book on basic programming, and they'd have games, and it would take you hours to key in this code.
Fuck, you'd have to enter your own game code?
Your own code. And you'd hit to play it, and it would start, and then it would like syntax error, line 6,300.
Oh, it's so irritating.
Like, I'm supposed to debug this shit?
You left out like one character, just fucks up the whole code.
You left out one fucking number or one little symbol or something,
that, Jimmy?
and you're done.
DOS prompt, I remember. That was when we got into computers in high school, and I didn't know much about it, but that's very familiar.
Then I came up with the cassette load, which was great.
Yeah.
You just plugged in, which was basically just a Panasonic cassette player, and games would come on cassette tapes that would, they're just magnetic tapes.
Again,
that would
Radio
hold the
Shack. You
program.
can get those at Radio Shack.
Yeah. The Shack was rocking.
They were happening.
And it would take so long for a shitty game to load up.
How long?
I would take hours sometimes. It would run in like real time.
This
for a
was
tape.
before we had short attention spans, though, so we were like, pretty soon
else have
I'm
we
going to
got to
be
do?
in
Oh, you were
video
so into
game
it.
paradise.
Pretty soon I'm going to be the controller of a nuclear power plant that can't melt down. I'm going to have to keep the nuclear rods in the liquid and keep the turbines running, and sometimes something's going to fail. I thought it was the best game ever. I'm like, oh, look at the graphics. It's never going to get better than
See,
this.
I was lucky because my dad was a professional bowler, and then when he retired, he opened a bowling center, and he had an arcade. So I didn't have to rely I had all the home gaming systems, but I also had these
The real deal,
these
yeah.
cabinet arcade games in my dad's.
Because nothing was worse than playing Pac-Man or Donkey Kong and then playing the home
The
Atari
8-bit version.
which was like, what? No, this
The
isn't
rip-off
it.
version.
Isn't it?
Right.
Why
It's
is
like-
Pac-Man square?
Yeah, it's like when your mom tries to make a Burger King thing at home, and
Yeah.
you're like, it's just not the same.
It's just like
Just
it.
not the same.
I'll make you an Egg McMuffin. No, you
No,
cannot give me
it's not the
eggs on
same.
an English
Was your
muffin.
dad? Was he a good professional bowler? I need to know.
Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Wow, Hardwick.
Really?
Yeah.
What was his first name?
Billy Hardwick.
Not that I know.
Yeah.
Almost
bowlers,
rings a
but
bell, though.
It kind of sounds
He
familiar,
was
right?
in the, my dad. It's funny. My dad was a professional bowler in the '60s when it was kind of a really cool. Like they were actually respected athletes,
Right,
by
yeah.
the rest by other athletes. And
Wide
so-
World of Sports used to show
Yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly. And so, so I grew up on the.
When
Pro
did you
Bowlers
break
tour.
your dad's heart and go, Dad, I don't want to be a bowler?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. It worked well for you, but you know what?
yeah. We had the talk.
Were you forced to bowl your whole life?
No, but I did.
No?
I bowled.
Were you
Any good?
I was good as a kid.
Any perfect games?
No, but I shot 289 when I was 11.
Damn.
It was 10 strikes and then a 10 pin.
Oh, you got screwed.
Still
did.
bugs you, doesn't it?
It really fucking does. Yes, it does.
The hand roll gave it away. The hand roll gave it away.
Because my parents split up when I was 13, and we moved away from the bowling center, and I didn't really, like, as a teenager, I'm like...
Oh, is that how your mom got back at your dad? I'm moving him away from the bowling center.
Well, one of a variety of ways.
Damn, you never had the chance, really. To...
And I never really had the chance, and now
So
I feel
close.
like I'm not going to bowl a perfect
When was the
game
last time
now.
you bowled?
I bowled once this year. I mean, I don't...
If you bowled today, what do you think you could roll?
I'd probably average 190,
Yeah.
180, 190. That's my
Okay.
dad. Yeah, that's my dad. This is my
Damn.
dad did this. This is a Miller High Life beer commercial he shot in 1969.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit.
There he is. My dad was 29 there.
Wow.
Yeah.
In the first 3 games he ever bowled, Billy
Yep.
scored 79, 87, and 69.
This is are people.
So he practiced
like
a lot. Day after
Yeah, we'll fill in the blanks inside.
We'll fill in the blank.
Yeah.
Black and white commercial. He's in a bowling center. It's closed down.
you got the real desire
He's bowling.
and dedication
A bartender's
about
pouring him a
anything you do
beer.
if you're going to do it right.
He's about to leave a split.
Oh,
All right, that's a 6-7. And he picks it up. There it goes. Bam!
Wow.
Nice.
Damn.
Right?
It's the same.
Now
when
the-
you're
Hey, that guy.
A couple great things about this commercial. Number one, after he did this commercial, they wouldn't let active athletes do beer commercials anymore because for some reason they felt it left a bad example on the kids. Hey, you want to be a champion? Drink.
Drink.
The other thing was my dad had lines in that commercial, but after so many takes of chugging the beer, he got fucking hammered. And they were like, well, no lines for you. So
And then I saw a couple of people that were familiar from other commercials of the era.
probably so.
In the background, yeah. Wow, that's cool. He had that nice wicked curve in there.
Yeah, a little bit of a hook. Yeah.
I like that.
Does he still
God
bowl?
damn.
Nah. My dad's funny. He hasn't picked up a ball in like 25 years.
Oh, wow, really?
He has this philosophy where he goes, the longer I don't bowl, the better I was. Like, people say. So
That's
he just,
pretty good. There's logic in that. Yeah.
He's 69. He's never going to be as good as he was.
He
and
just
he
got
knows
sick
it,
of
so he's
bowling.
like, fuck it.
He's had it.
Yeah.
Can't you just go for fun, though? Like with the...
No, it's not fun
It's
for
not
him.
fun for him.
I
Same,
guess not.
Same reason I can't play chess anymore, Jim.
Yeah,
Same reason
see?
I can't play
It's
chess
just too
anymore.
much stress.
I never played tournament chess. I never did. I always
is-
played for fun, but never tournament chess.
It is a whole different kind of, nerd bullies are hilarious because like a jock bully will just hit you in the throat and then that's it. But nerd bullies fuck with your head. There were all these kids and you'd sit down and they'd go, you feeling okay? And then you'd go, I'm fine. And then,
am I feeling okay?
And then they just get in your head. Like it's a whole psychological bullying that's nerds.
Like when Fisher and Spassky played and he fucking forfeited the first game.